Exactly. Good, bad, and ugly everywhere, right?
100%. I used to live here in Lakewood when I was in 9th and 10th grade. I love Lakewood. There's so much Jewish life here. It's so easy to be Jewish, and everything's cheaper. It's amazing here.
Why did Lakewood become such a large Jewish hub?
So I think it started with BMG, Spanish Kitover, and then you had a lot. You know BMG?
Yeah, tell me more about BMG, though, right? I hear it's like the Harvard of yeshivas.
Yes, it's top notch. You just sit and learn all day. You already finished your high school phase. Most people went to Israel already, came back, and they just sit and learn all the time. It's amazing. I used to do it when I was a teenager. Lakewood's an amazing place and everything, and I think I've seen your videos all over. I just think that people get nervous and stuff like that, but you're just coming here filming the truth, and you're working just like we are. That's it. We're all in the same boat.
What should we know about Lakewood?
It's a great place. Always welcome here.
Thank you. Yeah, we got to know. It's welcoming for the most part. A few guys are fired up. We tried to give them the chance to speak, have a conversation.
So you guys can't see this in the video, but that guy seems very reasonable, very accommodating. But now he's got some other dude stepping in between them, trying to shove him in the car, telling him to stop. Don't talk. Don't say anything. That's weird ass behavior to me, man. That's super weird behavior. But let's go.
What whisper did we miss?
Nothing. I gotta go now, but
I love it. To a T. A guy gets a whisper and he goes quiet. Would you like to say anything? How you doing? Or with this guy whispering in his brethren's ears?
Jacob, I saw you come up with Mike. Did you want to say something?
No, I was on a phone call. I apologize.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay. Oh, yeah, no, you're good, bro. Yeah, no apology needed, man. I just want to give people an opportunity to chime in. So
you're a great mod. Thanks.
AC.
Hey, what's going on, 3C?
When you get done with this video, play that video that I sent you. It got something to do with the same thing we're talking about.
Okay, do me a favor. Hey, do me a favor. Send it to my back channel because it's gonna get lost in the chat. And Adrian, that video you shared too. If you could send that to me in my back channel, because it's gonna get lost in the chat.
Can you put it in the chat too? So
yeah. Please put it in the chat again too, so other people.
That's the reason why.
Wow, I can't before you went to.
He comes up and they're talking to him in sweet. He goes, and they stop talking. It's miraculous. Tyler, good to meet you. What's your name?
if I say something good, you're gonna put it on.
Let's go. You just met up with a guy. He was like pissed off that we come around here and explore. This guy's killing me, dude. He's treating you like a child.
I know.
This is pathetic. He's treating you like a child.
Federal allergy. That's why.
Who is this guy?
They say you got to get a code.
Why are you guys? This is pathetic. Let the man speak.
Getting 60s, G.
I got him.
Yeah, does that not look like suspicious activity? Why is there so much secrecy if you have nothing to hide? Why would you do that?
Navy Federal was just getting 60 back.
He's the head whisperer. All right, tell me what you're going to say.
Everyone mixing this stuff. B-Way, look at him. He trying to soak it up. You can't get that cheat code. You can't get that cheat code.
You'll follow us. There's a special response here. And it goes to out there being run along. They're going to just trail us around. Amazing. So given that the cops are being called so often, they're just going to follow us around all day. Land of the free, home of the brave. And then I stumbled upon a kosher collision. Another example of Lakewood's infamously terrible driving. We're just showing how densely trafficked it is out here, how much traffic there is. We wanted to show some of the driving differences out here.
And I want to throw a party with Mac. You hear me, son?
Oh, what does it have to do with bad driving skills or snow?
Just a heads up, man. The last two videos he did in these communities in New Jersey, like he witnessed like 5 to 6 accidents while filming this in the same video. So that's why he's joking about the driving practices there. I've never seen that.
You got
small things area, the same thing like that.
Yeah,
okay, cool. All right, thanks.
I got another phone I need. I want to check out
That's fair.
I got shot.
That's how it happened.
I still ain't checked on
Totally fair, okay.
You know them my real guys.
Alright, well, be making up the story because you need a documentary.
My real kids, both the Lazayette.
You just hit the wall. Anyone?
My real kids.
So, give me an Alright, look, give me your email. And what was your first name? Moshe. We're gonna do some big stuff.
You're afraid.
I don't even know what's going on. Oh man, these guys are next level. I feel like I got dropped off on an alien planet. And you might be wondering, what is Hatzola and how are they able to blast through red lights like that? It's like a community watch, but they think they are cops. If you notice, they had their lights on and they just ran a red light, just like a police officer would do. No uniform. They had the Jewish uniform on, white pants and the colonel's in a police car is what it looked like, but he's not a police officer, and he's blasting through the lights like he is a cop. There's a Hatzola billboard right there, Mike. What is that for?
So, just to give some context, the Hatzola is like their own little community security, and they've got cars that are marked or whatever, but they're not actual law enforcement. So they don't have the privilege to run through red lights.
Hatzola is an ambulance service, not a police service.
But it sounds like
it's for certain people. It's not police. It's ambulance.
Okay, that's correct. Yeah, it is the ambulance, but they also have, and what he was talking about, the cops, the one and the ones that are in cars that have lights and everything similar to cops, but they're not an actual official law enforcement entity. What they do is it's like their own little private security, their own little community security, but it's not an actual licensed law enforcement agency. It's not a regulated law enforcement agency, but what you see them doing is acting and doing things like a law enforcement agency, which you can't do. Law enforcement agencies are exempt from certain rules, have certain privileges because of the nature of their job. So that's
they're talking about Hatzola. This is to save people's lives. Hatzola is Hatzola. It's ambulance to save people's lives.
He said
that's
that,
what they go through red lights.
Right, and I agree with you for that part. But then, and that's what you can do. That's why I'm giving context. But then you see other vehicles, and that's what he's giving context to. That's what he's talking about. I will take that.
He's talking about the wrong thing.
Hey, and speaking about law enforcement, they train all of our law enforcement.
Not sure who they is.
Not in this situation, Drisky. Not in this situation.
No, I'm not talking about that one. I'm not talking about that one. I'm saying that in Jewish, they train our law enforcement. It's known. Most top cops go there. They do.
No, some municipalities have trainers and some don't. Every municipality has its own law enforcement. It varies from municipality.
Did you hear what I said? Top cops. They go to Israel to get trained.
We're the top cops.
Keith.
Yeah, I did hear what you said. Huh? What?
Keith law enforcement. They go to Israel to get trained.
Yeah, like which one?
Bro, look it up.
What do you mean look it up? You're the one making the statement. You look it up and come back and make some sense.
I looked it up. I made sense.
Okay. All right.
So hold on real quick. Let me moderate real quick. So Drisky, if you're talking about going to Israel, we're talking about this specific community, this specific instance in this video. So I don't want to get all into that, man. I want to stay right here.
I have the list, though. If he wants, it's 4 cities.
Okay,
New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Washington, Atlanta, San Diego.
All the big cities. Thank you.
Okay, but Norm is correct. I'll retract my statement. That is the ambulance service, but in the video they cut to the other vehicles, and that's what he's bringing context to. So that's why I was explaining it, Norm, because people can't see the video. You guys can only hear it.
All right, but he's misspeaking. Back it up a little bit. He's saying Hatzola, and he's wrong.
Well, for that specific shot of the ambulance, but then it goes to another shot, and that's when he starts talking about what he's talking. So that's why I wanted to bring context to it. But Norm, you are correct. I will retract my statement. That is that particular name.
Back it up a little bit. Let's see what he says. Like 30 seconds or something.
Okay.
Ran a red light, just like a police officer would do. No uniform. They had the Jewish uniform on, white pants and the colonel in a police car is what it looked like. But
see, a Jew in a police car is what it looked like. So that's what he was talking about. That's where he switched.
Well, he's talking about Hatzola, so maybe he's talking about an ambulance.
Or it could have been the Shomrim. It could have been the Shomrim.
Yeah, and what I'm saying, Norm, is when he first talked about that, you saw the shot of the ambulance, and then that's when he brought up, now he's talking about the police cars. So that's what I'm trying to explain, because people can't see it, but the shots are switching as he's bringing context to what's viewed in the video.
Not a police officer, and he's blasting through the lights like he is a cop. There's a Hatzola billboard right there, Mike. What is that for?
I mean, you're asking me questions. I don't know if I have the answers to why. Because once again, because there's competing Hashtola. If you have competing groups of these
Of a non-profit volunteer emergency service?
yes, it sounds like a business, right?
But literally every organization out here is a tax exempt 501c3. If you dig through the filing, go on ProPublica.com, you'll be surprised to realize everything basically is a tax exempt 501c3.
And Norm, to your point earlier, these are the similarities. Okay, so I'm not saying everything is exactly the same, but we're seeing a lot of similarities to Minneapolis. That's another thing. A lot of those business were 501c non-taxable charity.
Wait. We went from Hatola, which is an ambulance service, to what?
Okay.
Yes, an ambulance service is a 501c3 by definition. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, that's not what he's talking about. You got to follow along, Norm. He switched now.
I'm listening.
Yeah, so what he's talking about is when you look at the majority of businesses in this community, they're overwhelmingly 501c3, and he's showing.
It depends on what the business is.
Okay, but the thing is that you go to any other
daycare.
You go to any other community, Norm, a normal community, the majority of businesses are nonprofits. That's the.
Well, now you're using the idea of something called a normal community. I mean, so one guy goes down a couple blocks in a town. And he says, "Oh, these are mostly. What are the businesses? Are they legit or not?"
So, if everybody wants to see it, he's actually posting the stats and the data. It's at the 26th. So, if you want to click that, you can see all the screenshots.
Well, what are the businesses? I mean, are they legit or they're not legit?
Go to the 26-minute mark, and it's showing right there. You can see it for your own eyes.
Well, if you're looking at it, why don't you just tell the room?
Because I want you to see it for yourself. Because you're the only one that's not tracking this conversation so far.
I'm tracking. Why don't you tell me what you're seeing with your eyes?
You're not tracking because you completely missed the fact that you were still on the ambulance when he clearly said they ran the red light in a police car and they're looking like cops, but they're not cops. So you're the one that's
there's a private security force, which he's calling Hatola, which he doesn't know what he's talking about.
No, that's not what he did. Okay, I went back and I rewound it. 20 seconds, Norm, and everybody else heard that he said they went through the red light in the cop. First, he was talking about the Hatola and the ambulance, and then he said they went through the red light in a cop car, and they look like cops, but they're not cops. So,
question.
And he called them Hatola.
Question: is it the video at the top, and at what time mark?
26 minutes. Go
this
to 26
video
minutes.
at the top.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yep. Absolutely. All right. Here we go. Let me get back on the video here.
Yes, because it's all through the religions. What are your concerns? Why are we interviewing you? So, I think I echo the concerns of many non-religious people in my area. And the biggest concern is how one group of people gets to act that is separate, segregated from everybody else. And that group being Jews. Yes, Jews, exactly. Yeah, 100%. But you know what? It's in my area, it's Jews. In other areas, you obviously see the Somalian, right? In Minnesota, there's things that are happening all over the area. But yes, in my particular area.
Did you want to say something, Yaakov? Yaakov, you're off mute. Did you want to chime in?
Hold on. Sorry. 1 second.
I'm trying to.
No, sorry. I didn't mean to be.
Okay, cool. Yeah, like I said, I'm just looking for you
to
to pause.
Mic is off mute too. Why your mic off mute like this?
Yeah, I can't because I'm scrolled up at the top here. But yeah, like I said, if you want to chime in, I'm looking at mics coming off, so I can give people an opportunity to chime in if they want to have something to say. So
no, you don't talk about normal. You got his mic just off while you play the video. Right?
Oh, that's fine. As long as he's not making noise, yeah, that's fine, bro. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I mean, if people want to say, as long as they're not disrupting the conversation of the video, that's fine. That's fine. But if you want to chime in, feel free to chime in.
So I just watched a little bit of the video, and so I'm to the point where they're at in New Jersey, and they're saying the Jews are taking over the community. Is that the point of whatever this video is about?
No, what it is it's exposing fraud in general. Right? Fraud, waste, and abuse of taxpayer money. Tyler Oliveira did, this is the second video he's done. The first one he did, let me find the name of the city exactly. I keep forgetting. Let's see, it is Curious Joel in New York City. So he was showing how this community is at 40% below the poverty rate, which the national poverty rate is 10%. So there's an unusually high, it's 4 times what the national average is, and that there's a lot of welfare being received by recipients, which is at a way higher amount than what the national average is in this specific community. But the men are not working. They go to the synagogues and they study the Torah all day. And they have their wives work, and it's just basic, normal, non-skilled fucking labor jobs. And they're wondering, hey, most of these people have, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 kids, a lot of them. So how is it that you're able to survive on one mediocre income with all these mouths to feed? And and then you have able-bodied men who, instead of going and working and paying their own bills and providing for their own families, they want to sit and study all day. And that's not what we do in this country. If you study on your own time and your own dime, that's how it should work. You still got to work. So what he's trying to expose is that there's a group of people who are taking advantage of the welfare system just so they can do whatever they want to do. And everybody else is working to foot the bill for them when they're not willing to get up and work. So he did that in that community. Now he's in Lakewood, New Jersey, and he's showing the same thing. So it's pretty much a lot of similarities to the fraud that was exposed in Minneapolis, Beth. But what we're seeing here is that what happened in this instance when Tyler Oliveira went to the Jewish communities to do the same exact thing he did in the Somali community in Minneapolis. The only difference is now his sponsors are dropping him. Patreon killed his account, terminated his account. He has no ad revenue. All the sponsors dropped. Everybody fucking walked away from him and dropped him like a bad habit. But when he did the same exact thing in Minneapolis to the Somali community, we saw none of that. So the point of this room is,
has there been one case of fraud yet?
I'm not done. Yeah, there's several cases, and like I said, if you watch the video, he's got he posts everything, and you can look at it. Yes, there was fraud in the school board where they were shutting down black schools where black poor children were going, and they were funneling that money into their own private Jewish schools.
Does that come up yet?
And you missed it, so you need to go back and do the research. Okay, so watch the video.
Do my research.
He's got everything. He's got all the articles. He's got all the links. He's got everything in these videos, so you can go check it for yourself. But to back. So the question I'm asking is that we're told that there's no narrative with the Jewish community that they don't suppress speech. They don't actively try to shut down investigations into the community where there's fraud, waste, and abuse of taxpayer money. Yet what I consistently see with the Jewish community is that whenever someone starts digging and asking questions, we see the same rampant nefarious behavior that we saw in the Somali community. So again, I'm asking, why is there hypocrisy? Why are all these sponsors dropping him when they didn't drop him before? And if you look at Tyler Rivera's catalog, this is what he does. He goes into the big city, he goes into cities, and he investigates what the rumors are and what people are talking about in these cities. He's gone to Chicago, Detroit. He's done with the gangs, with the drugs, with fraud. So this is what he does, and he's doing everything consistent. It's just all of a sudden now, years and years and years, never lost a sponsor, never lost a Patreon account. All of a sudden, he now shifts the light over to these Jewish communities, and now everybody's fucking mistreating them.
Yeah, I got another one for you too, and it shows you why in this other video. It's on X, but basically the 2 videos that I gave you. Kind of where this shit started from. And then I gave you like their initiative and what's really going on.
Okay, copy. And yeah, like I said, put it in the chat so everybody else has access to it, and then just back channel me that way I keep track of it. So that's why this room is being held. And then secondly, it's not only the Jewish community, it's the Arab community in Dearborn, it's the Somali community in Minneapolis. The government is just handing out free money, unaccountable, willy-nilly. Right, and there's a problem with certain communities pushing everybody out, voting their own in, and then they pass legislation to just nilly-willy hand out a bunch of taxpayer dollars. And so there's a bunch of abuse of taxpayer dollars going on, and this is a full-scale government problem all over the United States. So that's what we're discussing, and that's the purpose of this room.
So, see, you're implying that somebody who has 10 kids and study, they're a fraud or a lie or a law being broken?
Yeah, absolutely, sir.
What law is that?
So again, Norm, open your ears.
Yes,
I said fraud, waste, and abuse.
I'm listening. So no crime to do that. Agreed?
Well, it depends. So hold on real quick.
I'm talking to Shake.
Let me ask
Is
you
there a crime there?
So
Or is it
yes,
you don't like it?
absolutely, yes, absolutely.
No
It's
crime
Tyler
with
Oakley. Norm, shut the fuck up and let me answer, bro. I've been nothing but nice to you. Okay?
I agree.
Don't do this to me.
Well, somebody sent me down a while ago, but okay.
Yeah, because you were doing this shit, bro, and you hurt the quality of the conversation.
I was asking questions.
Okay, but you need to give me a chance to answer.
Normie,
Everybody tell me, yo,
derailment, bro. Shut up.
Yeah, bro, you still know.
yo, stop. Norm, if you're gonna ask me a question, I ask that you give me the respect to answer the question.
Okay.
That's all I ask. Because if I ask you a question, I'm gonna shut the fuck up and allow you to help. Okay. All right. So let's restart this. So yes, Norm, you were out of the room, and there were several instances of fraud that were highlighted in this video, and he has an article, has several articles. So that's what I'm saying. You missed it. I'm not gonna
That was
backtrack.
not my question, Sig.
Yes, it was. You asked if there was
If I
fraud.
ask you again? No, I said, if a man has 10 kids and he studies all day and gets welfare, is that a crime? That was my question. And if so, what is the crime?
So it may not. Okay. Are you done? Can I answer the question?
Yeah.
Okay, so it may not necessarily be specific fraud in that very case that you laid out, but that's why I said fraud, waste, and abuse. That is actually abuse. So if you're an able-bodied person that can go out and work, it is not fair that you get to live off everybody else's hard work so you can sit around on your ass and study all day. That's not how we do things.
Now, you've mentioned it a few times. That's why I brought it up. I didn't make that up. So there is no crime I know of that is exemplified by that behavior, right?
So that's why I'm
You
not.
don't like it.
Can I suggest an alternative phrasing?
Let me answer the question.
Yeah.
Let me go after you.
Okay, let me answer the question.
Yeah.
So, Norm, I'm not going to say specifically because once people get elected, they can change legislation. So the guys collecting welfare and sitting on their ass and not going out and work and funding their own lifestyle, it may not necessarily be. God damn it, Norm. God damn it.
Sitting on his ass and studying.
I'm going to give you one more chance, bro. If you ask me a question, shut the fuck up and let me answer the question, and I will let you respond.
Okay.
This is annoying. You're a grown ass adult. This is annoying as shit.
We're both
So
grown
what I'm
ass
saying,
adults, for the record. Go ahead.
right? So act like it. So act like it. I'm only
I
gonna
say
act
the
like
same to you. Stop being so fragile.
So
You're a
again,
man.
so again, shut the fuck up. That's that shit. Grown adults know to shut the fuck up and allow someone to answer without cutting them off and interjecting.
Yeah.
So again, to answer your question, in specific cases, that's why I use the term fraud, waste, and abuse. Whenever we talk about the misuse of taxpayer funds, those are the three categories that we classify them in: fraud, waste, and abuse. So there were earlier accounts of fraud, actual fraud, where people were actually indicted and sent to fucking prison. Okay, so yes, there have been a lot of cases of fraud, and that was pointed out in this video. What I'm talking about is it may not be illegal because that jurisdiction may not have laws on the books specifically for that. But what I'm implementing is there is a lot of abuse, and I'm sorry, the average American does not want to pay for somebody else's. They don't want tax money coming out of their paycheck to fund someone else who's not willing to fucking work. But go ahead, you can understand.
Okay. So I don't know. Is that a fraud?
It's abuse.
You know. Okay. So it's not a fraud.
Okay.
I know. We're having a conversation.
Hold on, Alan.
It's not a fraud and it's not a waste. Why is it an abuse?
Because Norm, you would. Okay,
Yes.
Norm. Here's the thing. I'm gonna send you all my bills, pay my bills, so I can just sit on my ass and play Xbox all day. Would you be okay with that?
So do we give grants to people who?
Norm, can you answer my question? Norm, can you answer my question? Are you okay?
No.
Are you okay with me sending you all my bills and all my debt, so I can sit on my ass and not work and play Xbox all day? Would you be okay with that?
No. What does it have to do with what we're talking about?
Okay, then that's the same logic I'm using to answer your question.
No,
So
it has nothing to do with what we're
It
talking
is abuse.
about.
You have grown able-bodied men, and instead of playing Xbox, they're sitting in a synagogue studying books all day instead of going out
That's right.
working. And other people are funding their lifestyle, which you just
Are you aware?
you said is
I
not
hear that. Are you aware that we have programs that pay for people to study? Did you not know that? That we have grants? Did you never hear that? That we have scholarships?
And it's wrong.
What about for me to
Oh,
go
I
read
see.
the Bible?
So you don't believe that the government should pay for study?
So what
No,
about
it's not the government. It's our money. We're going out busting and breaking our backs.
Okay, taxpayer money that comes from the government, obviously.
Is there any money out there for me to study the Bible?
Everybody's talking at once.
Hold on, y'all y'all gotta stop this shit, bro. Give Norm a chance to respond and ask his question.
Everybody is talking at once. Don't get all excited.
When I mute the stage, that doesn't mean you come off mute. You come off mute, I'm gonna kick you down. We're not gonna hurt the quality of this conversation. Give Norm a chance, because I want to be fair with this, and then I'm gonna let Alan and I'm gonna let Blake go because they wanted, and whoever else I wanted to let them time it. So go ahead, Norm.
So in this country, we have government money set aside for people who study. That's a fact. There's public education, there are Pell Grants, there are scholarships. Yes. So explain to me why somebody who dedicates his life to study, not Xbox, study, why is that a abuse or a waste? It's not a fraud. It's not an abuse. I guess you feel that it's a waste because you don't believe in what he's studying. But if somebody goes to study sociology or pediatrics or psychiatry, you might not agree with it. But nevertheless, the government provides money for that. Because in a liberal society, which is what we are, we believe in the citizens being educated. And we put money into that. So I don't see it as abuse either. Now, if you don't care for it, that's okay. Maybe you don't like the fact that he studies Torah. But I don't see any laws being broken. I don't see that it's wasteful because it seems to be a worthwhile thing to study. And I don't see that it's an abuse, frankly.
Okay, so let me respond to that real quick. I'm going to let Alan and Blake and some other people chime in as well. So again, the difference between public education is little kids can't work. That's why we all agree as a society that we'll chip in to get young kids. Okay, so that right there is a fallacy that you just constructed. So when you have grown-ass, able-bodied men who are capable of working and they're having a bunch of kids over what the average American is having, you're talking these guys are having 4 to 10 kids. Okay, no, you don't get to sit and study all day. And everybody else is paying your lifestyle, paying for your food, paying for your utilities, paying for your rent, That's just not how we work as a society. We don't agree with that. So that, sir, right there is abuse. And when you have it at the numbers of thousands and thousands of these men in this community, these communities, and this is going on, yeah, that is 100% abuse. And Norm, you even agree. You wouldn't agree to pay my bills and pay my lifestyle for me to sit on my ass and not be productive all day. So if you want to study as a grown-ass adult, you do it on your own dime. Now, scholars like that, okay, that's little incentives here and there. But able-bodied ass men to sit there and just let them sit on their ass and read all day and everybody else has to pay for it? No. Nobody with common sense is going to fucking allow that.
The same thing applies to college students and grad students and med students. We have programs that fund them, not only for their study, but also for their living expenses. This is absolutely the American way.
Yeah, Norm, okay.
I was talking to Sig, Al. I want to hear
I know, but
hold on. Guys, don't cut him off. Let him finish, and then Alan can go next, and then we're going to let Blake go.
Very good.
Go ahead.
So yes, America believes in funding education. Bottom line, whether it's a kid or whether it's a grown-up. We send grown-ups to school, we send kids to school. It's considered a value of a liberal society. It's why we have free libraries, why we have community colleges, it's why we have free education. We believe in an educated citizenry. And certainly no laws being broken. So it's just that you don't like what he's studying, that's all, and that's okay. You don't have to. But I don't see that he's broken any laws. And you said thousands of thousands. I don't know how many it is. You haven't mentioned how many it is. But yes, there are some communities dedicated to study. And in my view, study is a noble thing. Now, you may feel differently. You may feel that building is a noble thing. I agree with you on that, too. You can get money to do a startup and create some sort of an application. I've done it myself. I've raised money for startups. I didn't get any from the. Well, I've been to like startup incubators and so forth that are funded. So yes, this is a society that funds the pursuit of ideas and study, and I think that's value, and I support it. I'll end it there.
All right, Alan.
All right. Well, thank you, Norm. I love when you use your words of debate to argue conservative cause. But this is not one of those cases. We, as a society, we do value education. Stuck your dick inside your wife 10 times and you got 10 kids. The time to study is over. We also value that in this society. And if that if you've now popped out 10 kids and you still want to study, we don't value that. And that there lies the problem. All of our liberal social programs are being re-examined in this time period. And I'm sorry, Norm, but Jews are no exception. And those Jewish communities that are doing the same thing that the Somalis and African Americans and Hispanics and any other ethnic group that is abusing the welfare system, they are going to be examined. And like the guy says in the video, there's one point he says, I forget the exact words, but we're at risk. No, the Jewish community is not going to be at risk if the able-bodied men have to go out and work and can't go to the synagogue every day. Because the principle, and I know you're a principled man, the principle here is that as a liberal society, we are willing and feel a moral responsibility to help those who cannot help themselves. And if you try to argue that these men cannot help themselves, then you're going to lose the room. And this is what's being criticized. We value in this country, because you spoke a lot about what we value in this country, we value men who work and who take responsibility for their actions and live and deal with those consequences. You stuck your dick inside your wife, you got kids, you go out and work, period. And there is no reason why the rest of us should fund that, including any grants that the government may give. And using the comparison of kids, well, yeah, we give scholarships to kids on the assumption that they're not exactly adults. An 18-year-old is not exactly an adult. We give that to children. If this guy had 10 kids, figure even there was a year between each one. Unless he married his wife when he was 10 and he's still 20, he's now in his late 30s. He ain't a kid. So, no, I'm sorry. That argument doesn't hold water.
Well,
but I will leave it at that.
I respect the consistency of your position as a conservative, and I appreciate your kind words to me. I will say that the Somali community was discovered stealing, having daycare centers with no kids in them. The Jewish community was discovered with an ambulance service. By the way, I've used that ambulance service for my mother, and they come before you even hang up the phone. They're fantastic, and they're volunteers. That's a legitimate thing. The Shomrim, or private security service, because, you ever hear one is a joke in your town? Well, that has happened to us. Public Enemy. That's to us as well. And so there's a private security. Again, that's a legitimate service. And then, again, somebody who you may disagree with, I have liberal values and you're a conservative, and that's good. That makes for a good conversation. I do believe in government funding, whether it's medical students or Torah students, whether it's psychiatric students or sociology students. I believe that we put some of our money towards the military, and I believe in that strongly, and we put some of our money towards education. I believe in that as well. What I don't see yet is there's anything that is either fraudulent, wasteful, or abusive. It's just a question of value. Sure, abusive is the one where it's just a question of value. You may not value study, but this community does, and I see no laws being broken.
All right, so Blake, I want to let Blake go next because he was waiting patiently, and then who else? I know somebody else.
Me.
Okay,
I've been asking.
What's up, PP?
Oh, it was Mustachio. Yeah, so Blake, Mustachio, and then 3Ski, and then Pepe. But go ahead, guys.
I mean, Alan pretty much spoke a lot of my points. My main thing was this, man. It's not that we found that it's legal yet. I mean, hopefully it gets investigated. Hopefully there is no it's like, look, nobody's going to pay me to go read the Bible while I got these 4 children to take care of. And I think that's the part that you kind of like deliberately jumping over. You're doing that lawyer thing that you're good at. And you know, that, like, why I can't read the Bible and get paid for it? I'd like to study my Bible and get closer to God, you know? But I gotta work all day. I gotta work 2 jobs, in fact, Norm. Take care of my kids. So why does this guy get to do that? Why is there some supremacy in what he's studying? How is what he's studying contributing to my society? Because I mean, paying for a kid to go to medical school, I can see how that trade-off as a society. We saying this guy is going to contribute to society in some grand way. I can see how somebody going off to school to be maybe even a lawyer. It's, I mean, as many as we got. But you know, this guy going to study the Torah. I mean, what?
You can
If
get
there's
a
some money out there
scholarship to go to divinity school as well. We got people on this app who have done so.
to study the Bible, to just sit around and read the Bible
school.
with 8.
Divinity.
You know what I'm saying? With 8. I think you're missing the point. With 8 children in this real world that we live in.
Yeah.
It's damn near impossible for a person working 50 to 40 hours a week and then working an additional 20 to 30 to supplement. It's damn near impossible to even see 2 children of your own. But you got 8 kids and you still have the time to be able to just study. And like Alan said, I'm sorry, bro, when your threshold of mouths to feed exceed your desires, it's time to put down the guitar, bro. It's time to put down the football, bro. It's time you gotta go to work, my dude. There's a boundary.
Depends on your values.
No, it depends on what it is. Because this is the thing, bro. When this all evens out, if it all evens out, and we ever get to a place where there's no special protections about us even investigating and talking about this stuff freely, bro, y'all gonna meet the same fate that the Somalis are gonna meet soon. We're gonna find out that some books are not as clean or not as kosher as we think we are. But you know, it's all speculation for now.
So you made it up. Okay, you made up a story.
I'm gonna build on top of what Blake said, because if any of y'all been in my room, you know that it focuses around God and the Bible and stuff like that. I'm actually in cahoots with my pastor to try to get into Bible college, or seminary, as some of you might call it. Now, yes, I might be able to get the schooling itself paid for, but I'm not going to get my apartment, my bills and all that stuff paid for. I'm going to still have to work on top of going to school. And that's the point I think is trying to be pushed across here, that you're not getting Norm. The fact that I still have to go out and work every day, and then in my free time, I'm going to have to go to an online college where in my free time, I can study, I can read the Bible, I can do this stuff. Because I'm a single dad. I'm a single co-parent. I have my kid half the week. I live by myself. Ain't nobody going to pay my bills but me.
Don't matter.
So that's why it's not fair. That's what we're getting at here, is the fact that some of these guys can have 8, 9 kids and literally do nothing but sit and read the Torah all day. Which, as a Christian, that's the first 4 books of my Bible. So I have more to study than you do. And you get to sit... this Jewish person gets to sit around all day and just read the Torah, while I have to bust my ass and work 2 jobs. Because I don't get to drive Lyft anymore. I have to work at a car lot and work a side job with my dad just to be able to make ends meet. That's why it's not fair. That's why there's been a big deal.
Because why would you can't do exactly what he does?
Would you not cut me off and let me finish first? I have to agree. Yes, you were.
It's not fair. Why would you think
you're cutting me off, Norman? That's one of the problems everybody's having with you in this room.
I want you to keep
then
going.
stop interrupting.
I'm not.
That's an issue.
Norm. So again, this is childish, immature, low IQ behavior.
the fact that you were able to speak your piece, and I even told people to shut the fuck up to allow you to respond. You're disrespectful, bro. You're being given respect, but you're not giving it in return, and that's what I'm talking about. Go ahead, Mustache. You got it.
I'm going to get ready to land my plane here, but I'm going to start back with, I'm going to say I have no problem with the Jews. I love the Jews. Yaakov is one of my very good friends on here. I've talked to you plenty of time over in Jeff's room. Norm, you know I have no problem with the Jews. But when I see something that is unfair, when I see something, why does this person get to do something that I don't get to do? Because I want to do that, but I can't. What makes them different? And it's literally just because they're Jewish? That's not fair to me.
I literally asked you 3 times, what makes you say you can't do it? And you said that was disrespectful. I knew you were landing your plane. You have landed your plane. And I asked you that question. Who says you can't do it? Why did you say that?
Life says I can't do it. Nor I'm not going to be. I can't pay my bills if I'm just sitting around studying all the time. I'll get grants that pay grants or scholarships or have to take out loans to go to school.
You know, there was actually a 16-year-old kid that was on like Dateline, and he said he couldn't get money because his parents were like super poor. Young black kid, he was 16 years old.
Hold on. Actually, Pepe's next, bro. We got to order tickets.
Oh, damn.
We got to order this one now. So yeah, go ahead, Pepe. You got the mic. Go ahead.
The only thing I was going to say is there was something they did that was very abusive, and what they did to those poor children in the schools there. They got the majority of the board there, and then they were putting money into their private, Jewish schools, and basically leaving the other kids, which were largely poor, with nothing. And then, they talked about how they chose to then close one of the schools and sell it like pennies on the dollar to the community to turn it into a Jewish school. I mean, it was very that was just very disgusting, and that's not those poor non-Jewish people there should not have had to dealt with that shit. I mean, I don't think anybody would disagree with that.
So there was a political fight for public money?
No. It was not a political fight.
It's the same thing that Catholics and Protestants do to each other, Norman.
So what?
I don't know what they do.
So I'll give you some context. So what happened is that the Jews voted for other Jews, and they overtook that school board. And then those Jews that were heading that school board purposely took money from other schools that were non-Jewish, which were predominantly black students, and shut down the funds going to those schools, so they'd be forced to shut down. And they sold those schools for pennies on the dollar to their own community to create a Jewish school. And that's all.
They reallocated funds.
They reallocated the funds to help themselves while they hurt other people, other communities of people.
And, if I may, I've heard the term liberal values being used, but that's an oxymoron. If the values that are being pushed are essentially not a value, they are a price. And the price is expected that the rest of the rest of us have to fund these monuments to liberalism, these useless adulting exercises of having grown-ups out there not actually learning to earn anything, but just expecting for this welfare to extend to the infantilism of people who just want to dictate to the world the programs that they want to run, while virtue signaling that they are the people who know the world better than the people that make it work and pay for it.
I mean, I just think this is really ironic. I know that the black community gets $45 billion a year in various public services in this country. $45 billion.
Don't cut them off. Let them go.
$45 billion year in and year out. No, I don't say they shouldn't get the money. I say if we have a social safety net, and again, Sig, you and I disagree on that probably because you identify as a conservative, if I understand you correctly, and I think you're consistent, so respect for that. And the same thing to Alan, but I'm not a conservative, I'm a liberal, and I believe in a social safety net. And what I see is that on the one hand, and not from you, Sig, okay, but from others, Jews get criticized because we have too much money and we control everything, and then we get criticized because we have not enough money, and so we're relying on public funds to get by because we've decided to dedicate our lives to study.
But that's not a safety net.
Hang on a second, Pepe. It's like you can't. Well, sure it is. If you say that you're poor and you have kids, as far as I know, you get money to take care of those kids. However the welfare system is set up.
But not if they're intentionally not getting a job. That's entirely different.
There's no criterion about that, Pepe. And again, you're interrupting, and some people don't like that. And I don't mind your questions, but I wouldn't mind getting a complete thought out. And the question is, if Jews have a lot of money, we get criticized. We got too much money. If Jews get good jobs, then we get criticized because we are too highly represented in the ranks of government or the ranks of billionaires or the ranks of philanthropists. By the way, of any non-black group in the country, who gives the most to black communities, institutions? Jews.
No, we ain't doing that shit.
100% true. Look. Always has been.
Stop that shit. There's no outlet. Stop using the black community for your bullshit, Norm. Just stand on your own. It is bullshit.
It's true. It's true.
It is bullshit. So again,
I have to be honest with you.
100% true.
It's not for having too much money. It's for being systematically socially selfish.
What does that mean, selfish? Exactly.
Well,
you mean we take care of ourselves? So we get criticized for being on public funds, and then we get criticized for taking care of ourselves. No, you make it make sense, man.
So I'll make it make sense. Yeah. Nobody wants a parasite.
That's right.
And that behavior of cultural parasitism is it's not open to.
Why would you call a human being a parasite, sir? What kind of twisted thing you have?
That's the term they use. That's what the communists would call people who didn't work.
Why would you call a human being a parasite, sir?
Because they are feeding and sucking off of the livelihood of other people when fully capable.
I thought we pay more taxes than any other group on
so you
in the
can't
country.
Actually let someone answer the question that you asked them to define. Okay. It's not, as you said, because you have too much money. It's because of the way that you harvest the people around you in an insular culture, and you don't consider everyone to be part of the same country. It's the Jewish community.
We are part of the same country. That's incorrect.
Everybody else is just there to be exploited.
That's incorrect.
That's
we don't
makes
think
the
that.
Culture unpopular.
This is a lie, sir. That's not what we think at all. You've just mischaracterized it.
Sorry, no. Okay, so now you're going to play victim because I've called you out on a lie. It's not because you have too much money.
Oh, we can criticize for that.
It's the usury
that's not
that you apply to society.
What do you mean by usury, sir? Usury is charging interest like a credit card. Okay. You have credit cards.
So you cannot have anyone else speak. You're a typical liberal where you have to shout down any criticism.
You interrupt halfway through.
I'm not going to carry on talking.
I'm not surprised.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead and shut up, boy. I'm not entertaining this shit, brother. This is dumb as shit, bro. It's fucking
This is the problem. It's when people turn around and say, look, we're all part of a society. We are working and we look after our own families. That is a responsibility where we actually eat what we kill. But when you have a parasitical community and culture that wants to take taxes and usury off of everybody else and all of their labors, but not actually contribute to the larger piece of society themselves, because their own community is more important than the country that they belong to, that is parasitical. And when you have that behavior that we just saw, which is as soon as that's called out, all of a sudden it's massively offensive and it can't be spoken about. That's why they got chased out of 190 countries.
It was 109.
But to be fair, you should, in Israel, they a lot of people will bitch about their Haredi community there too, because they do the same thing. Every other Jew in Israel has to serve in the IDF, for example. these guys get to sit home and read the Torah and learn. And, and they also have a shit ton of kids, and they often are.
That's why I said from the outset.
So
Nobody
I don't know. I wouldn't say it's. So I wouldn't go as far as to say it's a Jewish thing, but I would say just like how we have, what is it, Melanites? We have like weird people. I don't.
Mennonites.
Mennonites,
Amish, Quakers.
We do have. I know the FLDS here in Arizona was notorious for doing that exact same thing, and they were secretly practicing polygamy. But it was huge welfare for all.
Point of order, moderator. Moderator, point of order. This is Magus. Put me in your queue, please.
They obviously have values that are not shared and put an importance on things that the rest of the country doesn't. We have diverging interests, and I don't know.
This is Magus. Please put me in your queue. Moderator, this is Magus. Please put me in your queue. Thank you.
1 second, Sig. I just have one thing to say. I love the fact that nobody ever looks at the room.
Wait. I just gotta explain something real quick.
There's U.S. diplomats in this room right now.
Hold on, Beth. I'm gonna let you go. Just relax for a second. Normal. We're adults here, bro. I'm not bringing you back up because you're being disingenuous as shit. All right, you're hurting the quality of the conversation. You're not being an honest player, bro, and I'm mad disappointed in you. You're not being an honest fucking player. To sit here and say you wouldn't support me sitting on my ass, you wouldn't pay all my bills. That's the same logic we're using, but you're combating that. So what's good for the goose should be good for the gander. And if you're not willing to socialize the hard work that you do and the money that you earn to pay somebody else's lifestyle while they sit on their ass and don't do shit and create a bunch of expenses, you're not going to chastise the room for having that same approach when we just apply it on a macro scale. That right there is honest. But I know Rich has been waiting, and then Beth, you can go after Rich, and then
Magus.
I'm just gonna be super.
Wait, hold on. Hey, I'm issuing a fair warning in your space, bro. I don't know if y'all can hear me or not.
Yeah, we're not playing the kiss the ring thing. I'm just gonna speak real quick.
Shut the fuck up. Okay.
I know he's trying to do the kiss the ring thing with me. Hold on. So again, I got. Hold on 1 second, Adrian. Yeah, I got rules in my house, man. You're gonna follow the rules to keep this stage productive and keep the conversation. So Adrian's gonna speak, and then we'll resume in that queue order. Go ahead, Adrian.
Yeah, I'm just giving fair warning. And my brother Safe Space, he just wants you motherfuckers to respect his rules of his goddamn space. Everybody in here is a fucking adult. If you cannot respect the rules of the fucking room or the space, do not then try to engage in the conversation, because I will shoot your ass on a first class flight to Goo Crane and have your ass sit down there in the goddamn goo. And while everybody else participates in the conversation except you, because you can't understand the rules of the room, I'm letting you know, if you get into the fucking goo, it's me doing that shit. Not Sig, not KP, it's me. All right? So respect the brother's room, space of the room. Right? Let people finish their fucking thoughts. Don't be rampantly goddamn cutting people off because you're doing this shit intentionally just to fucking troll. I will shoot your ass to the fucking goo. Fair warning to every adult in this goddamn room. This is my first and only time saying this shit. Got it? Got it. Let's proceed with the conversation. Next speaker, please.
Right. Rich, Beth, and then Magus. Go ahead, Rich. You got it.
Yeah, Norman made it very clear that he would not pay for you to sit at home and play Xbox. But he also said that if you want to go to something, he would pay for you. So, I think he was pretty consistent on that.
Yeah, but the whole point is a grown-ass, able-bodied adult. Nobody should be paying your way, bro. Whatever expenses you accrue, whatever extracurricular activities you want to get into, that's your business, bro. That's your business, and you need to fund that shit.
Yeah, but
it's not fair.
It's not clarification. I know. Just clarification. Like, I'm 40. I got 3 kids. What if I want to go back to trade school and, get extra crane certifications for the petroleum so I can make a boatload more money? Would you be okay with the government subsidizing that, or should it just be well, fuck it, I can't stop working right now and I can't help
Dr. Gruber?
I can't go get the certification, so fuck it, I'll just stay stuck where I'm at.
Dr. Gruber, I'm in a room.
Deal with it. You figure it out.
We make exceptions to help people.
Yeah, but here's the thing, and again,
police officers go to police academy too.
So here's the deal. Tuna brought this up. Okay, is that if you want to go and get educated, you do it on your own fucking dime. That's not anybody else's problem. And if you didn't set yourself up to be in a position where you can afford it or have the time to complete it and afford it on your own, that's not everybody else's problem. So again, Tuna made the fact that it's
but Tuna's a trust fund, baby.
Hold on one second. Tuna made the point that it's to help people who are not able-bodied. It's to help those, and it's a safety net. Safety net means you're doing everything that you can, and oops, something catastrophic happened, and you just need a little bit of temporary assistance, but you're paying into that system to kind of, withdraw from it, to get yourself back afloat, and then you get off of it and you repay back into that system. That's how it's operated. It's not just to sit there and fucking live off of everybody else's hard work, bro. It's for catastrophic events that happen, because guess what? Bad shit happens to good people. That's why we set this system up. But it's there for a safety net, not to fucking fund your lifestyle. That's the point people are making.
AKA, point of order, moderator. We got a cue here. Magus is number 3.
Hey, hold on for a second.
So it's 30 seconds.
I know it.
Being a trust fund baby.
There's a cue. Hold on for a second, bro.
Hold on a second. You got it. What Sig basically just said, the welfare system is meant to be a stepping stone, right? Not a resting place. That's
a hand up, not a hand out.
We got the way of preventing. Hold on. Tuna. Yo, don't do this, man. Don't fucking do this. I don't disrespect anybody else's rooms. I follow your rules to the fucking T. I don't interrupt mods. I don't overtalk mods. I don't overtalk other people. You're going to show me the same fucking respect that I show you. And if you can't do it, then just be an adult and just leave if you're not capable of doing it. Beth, you got the mic next, and then Magus, and then Tuna will let you go, and we'll get back to the clip. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, no, I was just going to say, Sig, I'm looking at most of them all left, but I was looking at your stage all the way down. And there were U.S. diplomats and Israel diplomats that came into this space. And I think sometimes we have to just push over to somebody else on our stage to pay attention, because I was like, holy shit, what the hell is happening in here?
Okay, Magus.
Okay, point of order, moderator. Magus is speaking. I did an AI query. I asked Grok. Oh, okay.
Adrian, did you want to? Yeah, I just wanted to ask her, did she get the screenshot of the people who were in the room that she was talking about and what their profiles look like? Did you get a screenshot?
I did not. I know them personally. I did not take a shot.
All right, cool.
Okay, this is Magus. Banger room, gentlemen. Moderators, great work. Look at the size of your room. I think Clubhouse, to me, primarily is a place for people to complain. It's like a complaint department, but I want to complain about the title, meaning that the concentration of our focus is now on Jewish fraud. And I asked Grok, in the whole federal budget, and this is what it says: for federal 2025 federal spending, Medicare was $1 trillion, Medicaid $700 billion, SSA total $1.52 trillion, and cash payments of $232 billion. HUD gets $80 billion, Education Department gets $80 billion. The total estimated amount of fraud from all federal budgets and spending is well over $100 billion per year, gentlemen. So the problem begins with your federal government, which is borrowing and spending and issuing at least $100 billion in fraud annually. And this is why it's so important for all Americans to vote March 17th or for your primary to actually elect competent Congress people and senators. Yeah, John Kitover is one of them. I have, I've drawn my flaming sword and I am striking my master chord. And the point is statistics, ladies and gentlemen, not racial identity politics, which unfortunately I have to complain. And I think that this room could be a racial identity politics complaint room, because statistics and math, not many people know the truth of the earth. It begins at your birth and ends at your death. And the truth is, this is a complaint room. And I thank you for all letting me complain and listen to your complaints. But let's actually look at the numbers. Again, the problem begins with your federal government, your Congress people, which borrow from the Federal Reserve or from China And then they give out $100 billion in fraud. And so if you are complaining that you're not even getting a shekel or a penny or $1 or $100 a month, or you're not getting your SNAP benefits because now you got to go to work. The truth is, ladies and gentlemen, this is a complaint room because the government is $40 trillion in debt and $100 trillion in unfunded debt. So if you're going to complain about maybe $80 million in Curious Joel in fucking New Jersey with a bunch of smart Jews who know how to figure out how to game the system and they get to read content all day. Meanwhile, you guys create content all day. You guys just aren't getting paid for your content. Your consumption of content. These people have figured out a way to get paid to read. Meanwhile, you guys are here specifically calling out a group of people who figured out a way to beat the system that you can't seem to beat. So you got to come on here and complain. But the truth is, this type of fraud's been going on forever. And I just told you the numbers, $100 billion a year at least in fraud. But the big fraud is not with HUD and it's not with Food Snap. It's with fucking Medicare, Medicaid. It's that Indian doctor you know from New Delhi who's over here making $1.4 million while you can't pay your rent. Because they figured out how to game the system. And as Americans, we have allowed this to happen to ourselves because the whole system is one giant Ponzi scheme, and your congressperson is generally not even from America. You know that one guy, that Indian guy with the wig on? So ladies and gentlemen, 30 seconds? All right. Listen, there's one good indicator to know whether or not you should give someone more grace or less grace. And that's if they sound like an American. That means they've been speaking American their whole life. If you don't sound like an American, in my opinion, I'm not trying to be racist or xenophobic. I'm just saying we got to start prioritizing Americans and spending on Americans. That's the most important thing because the whole system is for us. So, ladies and gentlemen, take your racial identity complaints. I've already submitted to the Jewish Complaint Department for you. It's an infinite complaint file. You might be on here 10 years complaining, but what are you going to do? That's the big question. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you, moderators. Thank you, beautiful room. Share the room. God bless you all.
Okay. Jesus.
Oh, and go to johnforcongress.com.
All right. So, you're done, Magus. All right. So, can I get in a queue? Yeah, 3Ski has been waiting patiently. So just real quick, and again, this isn't a Jewish complaint room. I've made that very clear. Unfortunately, you missed out on it, Magus. What I'm pointing out is the hypocrisy that...
It's my opinion it's a complaint room. It's your opinion it's not a complaint room.
Here we go. All right, I'm not doing this shit. You fucking retard person. All right. So again, it's not a Jewish complaint room. What it is I'm pointing out the hypocrisy, and I've stated this several times. This is the point of the room, is that when fraud is exposed in other communities, you don't see sponsors dropping, okay? Tyler Rivera has exposed a lot of fraud in a lot of communities. You can check his catalog. This has never happened before. Only now, when he does the same exact thing he's been doing for years, he now is doing it to the Jewish community. Everybody wants to drop him. Patreon dropped him, sponsors dropped him, lost ad revenue. So again, there is something going on to where, and we've seen it time and time again, whenever the Jewish community gets a little bit of criticism, we don't see the same results as we do everybody else.
Oh.
There's something going on here, and it's blatant. Everybody can fucking see it, okay? Second, exactly to your point, Magus, I will agree to you. It's a bigger issue. It's a government issue that weekends need to start paying more attention and holding our government accountable and not allowing them to just willy-nilly have all these loopholes and hand out all this fucking taxpayer money to people who are clearly abusing it. And it's not just the Jewish community that's clearly abusing it. It's the Black community. It's a Jewish community. It's the Arab community. It's a Somali community.
It's the Hindu community.
We have a lot of...
Don't forget the Hindus. They're big. They got 1.4 billion followers.
To the pot, but they'll take. And that's what the main issue is. We need to start clamping down on this. So that's where I agree with you. 3Ski, you got the mic if you're there. You there? Or are you on the phone? Okay, we're gonna pass them up. Anybody else want to chime in before we get into
just 2 seconds? Mustachio, you were saying that you couldn't, like, if your dad with kids and shit like that working and stuff, you can't do the same thing they're doing. I'll give you an example. There's a 16-year-old kid who was on like Dateline NBC or whatever, one of those shows, and they were interviewing him, and he was from a really poor background and shit, young Black kid, and he started going to the library and he started getting this thing called the Blue Book, which has all the grants and scholarships. they get over $1.6 million raised to go to college. And they jokingly said, what are you going to do with this? And he said, I'm going to go to school for the rest of my life. I mean, you literally can get all your bills paid for. There's government funds and stuff like that that'll help assist you. You could do this if you wanted to go back to college and get a bachelor's degree and stuff like that. And there is financial aids and stuff that will actually help you pay all your bills while you go to college. There's literally billions of dollars. So $15 on Amazon, you can buy the Blue Book. It has all the grants and scholarships, and you can get those in. They cut a check. Most of them, a lot of them will actually cut a check directly to you, and then you just cash a check and you spend it on whatever you want.
All right. Anybody else before we get back to the clip? All right, here we go.
And it's Jews that are expanding their territory.
Jews make news.
So my name is Jenna Galarza. I've lived in Jackson for approximately 23 years. I want to say it really started affecting me when I had my children. I have twins. They're 20 now. In a assimilation perspective, you want to be able to teach your children how to talk to other children and, be part of other cultures. And that was when it really started hitting me.
Why hit you?
Let's say if I would go to a store which was closer to Lakewood, I'm pushing a double stroller, I have twins, and I noticed that nobody would hold the door open for you. Yeah, at one point, a door literally got slammed on my twin stroller, and I was just like, whoa. At that point, there wasn't a lot of Orthodox living in Jackson, but they were coming to our parks a lot, and they would come to the parks, busloads, vans full. And the park would just get turned upside down. I mean, we're talking about diapers being changed anywhere and being thrown on the floor. We're talking about children literally urinating in public and absolutely not interacting with your children. So listen, at that time, if it was a minion, there was 10 men, not a big deal. But then you started to notice that it was no longer just 10 people. It was 20 people and 30 people. Just completely changing the feel, the character, the comfort that you once had in your neighborhood is no longer there.
And another source of conflict is the Jewish community using residential homes as places of worship, often without approval from the Jackson Planning Board, bringing in tons of outside traffic and destroying the peaceful quality of the neighborhood.
We can have even more, if you work in an office and there's 10 Jewish men there, you can just take a conference room for 10 minutes. We don't need like a formal like church. I've prayed in parking lots with, we're going somewhere and there's get other guys together.
If you're living in a residential neighborhood and this house becomes like a revolving door of people coming in and praying constantly, parking their cars, I imagine there's some quality of life concerns, right? Increase in traffic and the streets being covered with cars and people all over the place or what?
I don't think that that's what really happened, but maybe on like the Sabbath, but you're not any someone to probably say that because they don't like us. They don't want us.
This home used to be probably about 1,100 square feet. It does have a new owner. Apparently, they did get permits to expand on their house. Most of the permits are just, kind of just given. Nothing is really followed through. This home will be being used for a full-out temple. Yeah. Well, that means that they're going to be praying in this home several times a day, probably staying over on Friday nights until Saturdays. As you can see, there's no parking lot here. This is going to affect every person that lives here. And the other problem that I have with this and that I think should be looked into is there's definitely funding going to these places.
If I was a concerned neighbor and I said, hey, they're building a temple, what the hell? What might happen next?
You would probably be called an anti-Semite. They will make your life miserable. Nobody wants to live across the street to a synagogue. It is a tactic of getting people to sell their homes, and they will have buyers for them.
And you see this, and then you watch buildings get built before they're approved. They build and ask permission later, and then if they even don't get permission, they sue, and they win for permission. So when you have all these things where they're creating hatred, they create the double standard, they create the animosity between two groups. And when I say they, I mean governments and people that buy old politicians to make favorable laws, because a lot of this you do is legal because they bought the politicians to make it legal. Do you think residents in Jackson who do not want Jackson to be majority Jewish or to look?
Again, if anybody wants to chime in, just come off mic and start speaking, and I'll pause a little.
Feel and sound like Blaine.
Yeah, go right ahead, brother. You got it. Go ahead.
Yeah, so there is a separation of church and state specifically for this reason. George Fox knew it when he started the Quaker movement, that When you have people that are using their religious entitlements and trying to form religious exceptionalism, and using that to be able to manipulate and game the system in this way, that is why there is a separation between church and state, and it should be recognized for what it is, which is administrative terrorism. It should be legal.
They bought the politicians to make it legal. Do you think residents in Jackson who do not want Jackson to be majority Jewish or to look, feel, and sound like Lakewood, do you think that is anti-Semitic?
Well, people have a right to freedom of speech and freedom of their opinion, even if they're going to be bigoted.
Do you think that's bigoted, though, right? Because I imagine you don't want this place to be Islamic.
Only because the radical Islamists want to kill us. Other than that, I have no problem.
I think they're radical Jews and they're radical Christians. Right?
Which Orthodox Jews are radical Jews that want to hurt people?
Many people could argue there are distinct sects of Judaism that are hard.
I don't know.
You wouldn't want Lakewood to become predominantly Muslim. Radicalism aside, right?
Right.
Just like Jackson residents don't want it to be predominantly Jewish.
So if a Muslim wants to buy a house here and pay way more than what the house would sell outside our community because of the fact that the prices go up and we come in, they're free to do it. And
but I still think it's bigoted free to not want it to be predominantly Muslim. Why would you? You're Jewish.
So Jackson Strong is kind of like a unofficial organization that I had started. When I saw everything turning, I just was very vocal on social media, and I decided to organize. Certain people really wanted to get involved. There were a few of us that, we would have letter writing campaigns, making a lot of calls to county officials, local officials, and state officials, trying to find out what ordinances could be created, what we could do to help prevent a full-out turnover. The sign would say Jackson Strong don't sell, meaning if a new neighbor moves in next to you, don't run, don't sell. Why would you move? Stay strong, right?
Would they sell?
They would sell because it just got too much. And anytime you would say anything about it, you were anti-Semitic. I mean, there were Facebook pages created just to slander me. They would manipulate pictures of me. They would put, Russian hats on me, a Hitler mustache. These were things that were even coming out of Israel. At one point, there was a post where, somebody had said that, she needs to have an ice pick in her eye.
Real quick, Rico, you might as well just give up Raise Nation and not allow back on the stage, bro. You came on stage and the first thing out of your mouth is fuck Jews. I see where your mentality's at, so you're not welcome on the stage. You can sit in the audience and listen.
Something like that, I did go to the prosecutor's office, and my Jackson Strong page was taken down for no good reason at all. It was just taken down. There was a page Rise Up Ocean County, which was a pretty important part of everything that was happening. That page was taken down also. However, it was hijacked. So when our page was taken down, just for stating the facts, when you're bringing out the Kaporis incidents, when they're cutting the necks of the chickens and blood is pouring through the streets, and now you're talking about that, or you're posting videos, and all of a sudden your Facebook page gets taken down, only to be replaced with a complete anti-Goyim harassment page. And you could report that page over and over, and you could have a campaign of people reporting that page, yet that page remained up.
Do you want Lakewood to be predominantly Muslim? Because you personally don't.
No. Because it's
say they don't want to kill you.
I'm fine with people moving in, but to have Jewish schools, we have to have a critical mass of Jews here to support Jewish schools. To have kosher grocery stores, supermarkets, we have to have a critical mass of Orthodox Jews here to support kosher supermarkets. By the way,
so using that logic, why would anyone in Jackson want Jackson to have more Jews move? If you're arguing there needs to be critical mass for it to be.
How are we infringing on their right to and their ability to do whatever they want?
I'm not saying you are, but why would they want that? Why would they be bigoted?
They don't want or not want. If somebody's selling their house to an Orthodox Jew, the Orthodox Jew is allowed to buy the house.
Sure, but I'm talking about the people who are not selling their houses to Orthodox Jews.
They have the right to do that.
Of course, but that doesn't make them a bigot to not want it. It doesn't mean they're hateful. It doesn't mean they hate you.
What is it? Their lifestyle that we're going to change?
And this is a hypocrisy. This is El Normal right here. This is El Normal's cadence, right? Is you're saying it's okay for your community to be hugely dense and take over, and it's nothing but your community, but you have a problem when someone else does it. That's the fucking hypocrisy.
Hey,
what's up?
Well, just to say something for the room, I don't know if y'all
Anybody in the room know what Darvo is? But Darvo, D-A-R-V-O, is a debate tactic, right? It means deflect, attack, reverse, victim, offender. Meaning that when you're criticizing someone or, you're making an observance of something that they're doing and you're holding them accountable, they will immediately turn victim and they will try to reverse it onto you, putting you on the defense, right?
Thing that I know whenever he gets into debates with people or come into these rooms and he tries to spin the conversation back in a direction that is more favorable to him to where he can win the argument. And this is something that I notice not just only he does, but people of his community does this shit. It's almost as if like this is a learned tactic, like it's a curriculum in school or something that they must learn this shit, and they do it very well. If you're not aware of the tactics that they do,
good and evil exists. Good is what God demands, or what God dictates.
That he brought us.
Like this, good and evil are like determined by God in this world, right? So when I start, you can't say
all hail Megatron.
You can't start saying, "Oh, but you're an atheist. You don't believe in evil." That's not the point. That would be external. Yeah, an external critique. I would just say, "Fucking, I don't believe in God. I don't believe evil exists." That's not the point.
You don't think evil exists? Do you think ugliness exists?
Shut up, John.
It's a good question. No, that's how they say it in Marcus Aurelius. We know what good is because it's beautiful, and we know what ugly is because it's bad. They're connected words. Hello? No, it's true. I mean, you're using words. I'm using words too. Hello?
It's a really good point. Do you understand what I'm saying about you can't bring up? You can't refute that point.
So what I think you're doing is misrepresenting what it means to be one God. What is one God mean to you? Because I think you're not understanding what monotheism is.
Talking about? You believe in three gods, first of all. But one God is one
He
God.
believes in the miracle of the Trinity. He's a Trinitarian, CM.
Yeah, he believes in the Father God, the Son God, and the Spirit God.
Yeah.
Right. That's three
But
gods.
CM, you're so stupid. You don't even see it from a mathematical perspective. It means synthesis, change, delta, transformation, chemical equipment. See, you're not. You can't even be.
No.
We want to see since you got that chalkboard in front of you, the board, do 1 times 1 times 1. See what that equals.
Wait, hold on. That's a good point. That was a good point. But at the same time, he's still not representing what it means, what monotheism is. Like, what is monotheism? Monotheism is the belief in what? One God. Yeah, what is that one God?
It has nothing to do.
What is that? Yes, because you have to define monotheism. Yeah, you have to define monotheism.
One God, bro. Just believe in one God.
No, it's just one. You don't even need to use the word God because it's talking about a state of consciousness or essentially omniscience, infinite omniscience, eternal infinite omniscience, that there is one God, one reality, one now throughout the whole universe. And everyone here is living in a different century, I think, than me. I think I live in 2026. I like that calendar number. Some people say 1400, some people say 5765. I'm like, bro, it's 2026, man. Can't we get at least one thing? Is there nothing that's not a fact? Is there nothing that's not a fact? It's all opinion. Even the fucking year? What year am I living in? What year is this? Hello?
Yeah, I mean, he's doing one of my skits. This is one of my skits. I do the same shit. I freak out on them. Like, what the fuck, man?
I think he just won against CM. Never seen CM just concede that quick.
Yeah, but CM he just doesn't know what monotheism means.
Shake, I liked your response. What's 1 times 1? Which is 1. And that's a very funny way of talking of the 1, you know? It's because a lot of this is math, you know?
1 times 1 times 1 times 1.
Yeah. I mean, math is one way to understand essentially, which is kind of like an attitude, in my opinion, because if you're happy and you know it,
One times 1 times 1. They always bring up the 3 gods. That's such a weird way of like. So weak too. So boring.
It's weak.
It's one God.
Isn't that weird, Jacob?
He's still here. So they're really kicking ass over there, huh? Kicking ass, taking names. Over in Iran.
Iran did something. They did something that I kind of like. They painted fighter jets on just the ground. So, and then somebody tried to strike it, and they only struck like a painting. So they wasted money hitting concrete.
you know, say what you want about George Bush, but if he didn't plunge us into war on 9/11/01, we wouldn't actually maybe have the operational knowledge on how to necessarily even, you know, successfully conduct the operations. But do you know how many bombs they've dropped already on Iran?
I don't.
I want to say I read 2,000 or 5,000.
I'm gonna ask ChatGPT.
They were saying they have like maybe something over like 13,000 warheads stockpiled.
You know, propaganda now is like more important than ever before. And I've been creating pro-American military victory songs using AI. And I can't tell you how important it is to actually create pro-American propaganda because I never hear it. And when I made my own pro-American music on AI, I fell in love with American exceptionalism all over again. The greatness of our philosophy is in the wisdom of the forefathers, which is Washington, you know, Lincoln, etc. These men truly had the gift of the word. And if you read any of their writings or Jefferson, and then you compare it to the content that you might consume on Clown House, you know what divine is because it's intelligence, it's wisdom. But I'm just saying that people on this app don't exhibit intelligence or
Bro,
wisdom.
they said 2,000 targets were already hit. That doesn't say how many bombs, though. Because they do things simultaneously. So they'll shoot it off the freaking frigate, right? And then while those things are in orbit, like those things are in, like, they're flying close to the ground, right? Under radar. They have planes flying in the sky that are doing crazy speeds and then dropping stuff. So they do it simultaneously. Yeah. Where they all kind of like land at the same time. Which is kind of like, you know, or they hit different targets all at the same time. You know? It's like the planes will like guide the missiles and then gear off last second and then go somewhere else while the missiles hit. So it almost looks like the planes are shooting the missiles that are already in the sky, but then they gear off in another direction. It's kind of trippy. It's trippy. And then they got the drones keeping out the scene beforehand.
Right.
You got to see the way they do this shit. It's really sophisticated.
The hottest and fastest growing startups are these attack drone AI corps, and they're really this is people on this app yesterday were saying Zelensky's offering weapons to the Kurds. So like there is this huge international weapons trafficking network, and this has opened Pandora's box, and they're going at 2 a.m, and Congress voted yay on giving Trump access to the war. So it's not stopping; it's only expanding. I just put
what stock do we buy? Palantir.
Well, you should have bought it, when it was 90% cheaper than it is today. But I knew.
I mean, it just barely bounced. It's bouncing back now. Yeah, for sure.
I knew about it a long time ago. I just didn't have any money to or had the desire to trade. Honestly, I think I'm so glad that I don't have a stock market portfolio anymore. I'm like, oh my God.
Why?
Because you end up reading it like it's a book, and it's just so much information that comes out of financial news that like it ends up becoming your primary reading. I've spent so many years of my life just reading financial news, and it's like it's really not it's just spam. It's low grade spam. You'd be much better studying other content.
You should follow Dave Ramsey and tell him. Yeah, it depends on what you are. Yeah, if you want to be involved in the market, then you're right, man. You just got to be all over these different news heavy, because there are opportunities, man. I mean, like it or not, there's many things that are in the news that present an opportunity for somebody to make money. And but I've noticed it's a lot of it is about patience and discipline, but it's also overwhelming, and you got to know how to sift out the noise, because as you said, there's so many headlines, there's so many claims, and you just got to sort of see what's going on in the background and move accordingly.
Men and women of America's armed forces. May God bless.
So it's like oil prices are going up. Okay, so if oil prices are going to go up and they're going to continue to go up because we're in this war and this war is not ending anytime soon, you might as well profit from some bounce.
I think if anything, probably get a put option for next year on oil. Get one of these oil stocks and then do a put option, because there's no way that the oil price is going to stay it'll probably climb up to 130 maybe, but there's no way it's going to stay at 130 and then everybody's going to be happy, and then naturally it'll drop down by next year or before next year, and then you can probably sell out of that position earlier if it's realized.
Yeah, see, I like that. Kind of prepare for the inevitable. What goes up must come down, especially with the oil, because that's a huge talking point.
The whole thing is a fluctuation, and we should hypothetically apply force when we need to apply force. But hypothetically, there's also this book called The Practical Rights and Necessities to Demand Everything, or The Right to Be Greedy. And in the end, it says that we weren't greedy enough. And so that really means lowering the interest rate to maybe even a negative 1%. If we do that, we invert the banks and they actually pay us for our, loan to them. So The whole thing can be manipulated, but it just takes the will to overcome the influence somehow. I think through communication, it's possible to essentially resolve the debt crisis, which ultimately causes global conflict. But, you know, I just hope that if you have children, you know, they don't suffer at the hands of terrorists or dying in, you know, actual combat overseas. Because when you study history, if you read Caesar and you read other, you know, historical books, you know that everything is temporal or temporary. For example, Syria and Bashar Assad's regime has, you know, was completely obliterated, and he now lives in exile in a luxury condo building in Moscow. But the thing that most people on Clown House don't know, even though they constantly say they hate the Russians, is that the Russians and the Chinese and the Indians, they control like 80% of the world. You know what I'm saying? Like total landmass, natural resources. But anyways, this whole thing, this whole conflict is not necessarily because of the United States. I'm not spreading propaganda or hate speech, but it's just a 1946 polarization between the West and the East, which is actually still there because the Russians are the world's largest military industrial complex manufacturers, in addition to the United States, then the British, then the French, then the Germans, then the Italians, etc. I'm just saying weapons manufacturing for the militaries of those countries is a huge industry. We print tanks out that we don't even need, but we do it just to keep them running. So in my opinion, it's insane. But the whole thing is like artificial, and it's a miracle that it even works. And when you stop it, that's probably the biggest disaster, is to stop doing what you're doing, meaning that you got to keep doing. And if you study Torah,
what the hell are you saying, man?
If you study Torah, the ultimate conclusion, this is the whole conclusion of all the Torah. It's just productivity. That's the word, productive. And unfortunately, many people are not productive. But I will also say that if you read a book, that's work. And people should say you shouldn't even be paid for that. Hello?
Shalom. Shalom Aleichem.
Hello?
Shalom Aleichem.
Hello?
Alomi came back. Thanks, brother.
So, yeah, thanks for coming back.
You guys made a new room.
The whole shit. Yeah, we made a new room because sometimes the other room gets a little stale.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, you need to do your app so you can get, you know, tokens and shit.
What are those?
You can't even
How much is it a month?
Is it
like, for some reason, I can't send you any.
Yeah, but how much is it? How much is it to pay for the fucking app?
$5.
Oh my god, bro!
It's not $5. It's more than that.
Yeah, it's gotta be
$5 a month. What are you talking about?
Then what? You'll just make money if you pay the $5?
It's not about that. It's like you can see the space. This is how we regulate the space. Capitalism is going to give the reason to people in Clubhouse to structure and behave. That's the whole point.
Do you have to pay to play?
I mean, that's what you want.
You want that? They want to.
Sorry, Matt wanted to say something.
The Christian jizya called reparations.
Yeah, Matt, one mic on Matt.
Mic on Matt. Oh, appreciate that. I didn't want to say anything. Oh, he sounds like a white guy. I think we should actually wait.
Yeah, we should do some stock options. Go ahead. One mic on Matt.
What's the stock option?
Yo, Steven made a stock call a month ago, though. It's up like 300%. Steven, did you buy in on that?
What was the pick?
SCV.
Oh, SCV. Yeah. Wow, you remember SCV?
Yeah.
It's only been up. Yeah, it's up.
Yeah, when you called it was at $1.20.
Oh, $1.20. Yep.
It's at $3 now.
But that was pharmaceutical, right?
now it's a solar car company.
Oh dang it! It doubled. You got a double up. Okay.
Triple.
Get some call options and RCAT.
Is there any stock that anybody thinks is gonna like they feel very surely about?
RCAT.
PLTR, Palantir.
Fuck that! I'm not selling my soul to Satan.
You lose me. What's it? If you can't beat them, join them.
That's it. And then you call yourself a Christian, bro. You're gonna be so shocked when Christ.
Terra is a future momentum stock at a valuation like fundamental value pricing. It's still in the bargain bid, but it's going to be a momentum stock in 2 years.
Which one?
SEV or Aptera Motors.
Oh, okay. So it's the same one.
Yeah, this is Microsoft.
RCAT.
They make a car that will do 40 miles a day on solar energy alone. You could buy this car and never have to gas it or electrify it ever, and just drive it and never have to fuel it again. That's a good value. Like there's nothing in the market that can do that. It is
okay, but anything more like short return?
IBRX. True shit box of America, I promise.
IBRM?
Every poor person in America wants short term.
GRE for the short term.
GRE.
Have you guys heard of ticker symbol JOHN? If you look up ticker symbol JOHN, we recently listed on the pink sheets. We record clubhouse rooms across 30 different phones in 4 different recording studios. It's the hottest, newest media company. It does trade on the penny sheet. Ticker shit is JOHN. If you buy 1 million shares at a penny, well, I will give you a 40% free advertising buy on our network of Clownhouse recording studios. Some of you have actually been part of the business for many years now, unwillingly or willingly, like Megatron here. Point of order, moderator. I'm not finished speaking. Don't interrupt me. Mute your mic. I'm not done speaking. Be a gentleman. Be a gentleman. I'm giving you an investment opportunity that could 10x in less than 30 days. This is only for friends and family. This is the insider first buy. This is the round A funding and financing investment opportunity. This isn't a joke. Point of order, moderator. I just bought 350 gold coins here, and I'm willing to share them with my friends. If you want to hear me speak and you want your free gold 10 shekels, I'll send you 10 gold coins right now here on Clownhouse. Point of order, moderator. I'm the one with the gold. I'm the one with the coins. You don't want to hear me?
Calm down. All right.
I got the gold. I got the coins, guys. I got it. Hello.
Why do you do that? Why do you do that? I'm confused. Is this like the way you want to always exit the stage? You want to be like kicked out? Like, I'm confused. Why do you keep doing this? Because I heard you in the other room. You landed your point, and then you intentionally disrupted that guy. Like,
it's because I just
come. Like, I remember you, John.
Illumi.
I'm just gonna put him down.
Don't put him down.
I'll put him down. I can't see him. I can't see him.
You want the coins?
Yeah, I'll take the coins later. I can't.
Well, he can't accept them even. He can't even take
them. Go ahead, CM.
Too new of an account, probably. Anyways.
CM, what's up? Yeah.
So why are you having so much trouble understanding what an internal critique is? Like, again, I told you some of the common responses.
Okay,
you can just give the common response.
If you're going to give internal critique, you have to explain what the one God means.
You don't have to explain anything. Like, again, I just told you what the problem of evil is. I gave you some of the common responses.
You're misrepresenting.
Oh, there's a problem of evil? Let's hear this. I'd love to hear this.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to
Forget about misrepresenting. Let him start it. Let him do it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, what's the problem?
I'm not going to say it again. I told you some of the common responses is like, for example, like Original was saying one.
Okay, get your free coins. Jewish charity. All right, this is my Jewish charity. This is John Zachary Kitover. Okay, this is Free Gold Coins Clown House Jewish Charity. Ribono Shel Olam. We're going to invite some people to the room. Welcome back to Free Gold Coins, Clown House Jewish Charity. This is your friend, Strength Philosophy Magus. Ribono Shel Olam, the Shabbos is falling upon us once again. Another successful week of content farming, aura farming. Ribono Shel Olam. Okay, everybody, this is Free Gold Coins Clown House Jewish Charity. Oh, Ribono Shel Olam, I know I saw so many jobs being lost. But not here. We have a charity service. It's a nonprofit if you want your free gold coins. Come back, everybody. Hit that like button and subscribe. Don't let it slip away. And family, this is the insider first buy. This is the round A funding and financing investment opportunity. This isn't a joke. Point of order, moderator. I just bought 350 gold coins here, and I'm willing to share them with my friends. If you want to hear me speak and you want your free gold 10 shekels, I'll send you 10 gold coins right now here on Clown House. Point of order, moderator. I'm the one with the gold. I'm the one with the coins. You don't want to hear me?
All right.
I got the gold. I got the coins, guys. I got it. Hello.
Why do you do that? Why do you do that? I'm confused. Is this like the way you want to always exit the stage? You want to be like kicked out? Like, I'm confused. Why do you keep doing this? Because I heard you in the other room. You landed your point, and then you
Opportunity that could 10x in less than 30 days. This is only for friends and family. This is the insider first buy. This is an opportunity that could doing what you're doing, meaning that you got to keep doing. And if you study Torah, The ultimate conclusion. This is the whole conclusion of all the Torah. It's just productivity. That's the word, productive. And unfortunately, many people are not productive. But I will also say that if you read a book, that's work, and people should say you shouldn't even be paid for that. Hello?
Stop it. That's probably the biggest disaster, is to stop doing what you're doing. Stop it. That means they've been speaking American their whole life. If you don't, that means they've been speaking. She's not a prostitute, for God's sake. She's such just artistic. Is the true basis of the economy, that like you're able to like earn daily. Well, which is just as deadly and precise, and they can manufacture those at scale. And then which is alone. I'm happy. Leave me alone. I'm happy.